Okay, we're going to take a pivot from politics here, and I'm sitting with a gentleman from Fire Escape Engineers Incorporated. Sir, what's your name, as if I didn't already know?
Oh, well, my name is Warren Kindler.
And Warren, you deal with your company is Fire Escape Engineers, where you're the regional sales manager, national sales.
I'm marketing manager for the Fire Escape Engineers, but I also am now director of the National Fire Escape Association, of which the Fire Escape Engineers is an accredited member.
Now, fire escapes are something that we take for granted. They're sitting around. They're attached to this. You drive by buildings all the time. You see them attached to your building.
Sure.
You never think about them until you actually need them. And what do you, when you drive by a building, what are the things you look for a fire escape to make sure it's safe?
Okay, well, there's several things. Mostly what we'd like to have installed is that when you drive by and you see a white tag on the fire escape, that's been something that has a professional inspector or structural engineer has inspected the fire escape and then deemed it ready for use and puts a safe to use tag on it, so the fireman, in a case of a fire, can run up to the fire escape, see the white tag, and know that they can safely use the fire escape. However, what we look for as dangers are hanging steps, rusty rails, things like that. If it has more rust than paint, it's probably in bad repair. If it has more paint than rust, then maybe it's just surface rust and can have some minor repairs and put back into service.
Now, if you've got a building, if you're like, obviously I'm a landlord and I have a third floor tenant who we have a set of stairs that we've got set for, and if you're a landlord with more than a single floor dwelling, what are the things you need to look for a fire escape and that sort of thing? If
let me take a little bit of a moment here to explain what a fire escape technically is. It's a second egress for a building. It could be made out of wood, metal, cement, and it can look like a typical fire escape, or it could just look like a porch and a set of steps. So what we, and not to get lost in something, but to read the specific question is what?
What are we looking for? If I'm a landlord and I'm looking to make sure I have a safe fire escape, what do I have to do?
Well, you have to do is you want to look for the fact that it might have some rust jacking. And rust jacking is that buildup of rust between two members where it's starting to spread the tread and the stringer apart without getting too technical. So you want to look for buildup like that. You want to, in a wood fire escape, you want to look for rotted areas or soft wood. Those are bad signs. They all have to be repaired.
And again, one of the things you mentioned, which frankly didn't occur to me, when I think of a fire escape, I think of people coming out. You don't really think of, the first thought that comes to my mind is not 3 or 4 firemen in full equipment having to be on it to get in.
That's right, and that's why they perform load tests or have other evidence of strength. And again, there's a lot of technical language that can get involved here, but the biggest thing that I would like to advocate for the cities and towns and municipalities in general is that on their general checklist of things to check for when a general inspection is done, either in a change of hands for a sale or a loan or anything like that, is they have a checklist of inspections, and many things like plumbing and electrical and roof and things like that are on that. We would like to just make sure that somewhere on that list is the general egress check. So they have to have those egresses checked and certified.
And if you're a person who's renting a building or thinking of buying a building that's going to be a rental property, it'd probably be a good idea to have that fire escape inspected before you buy or before you sell.
A lot of mortgage companies are requiring that it be certified before change of hands. And there's actually in the International Fire Code from 2012 and the International Building Code that a fire escape must be inspected and certified every 5 years.
And if people want to find out more information about the company or want to get their own fire escape checked out, where should they go online?
Well, the best place to go would be the National Fire Escape Association.org, National Fire Escape Association.org. We also have 20 sites for all across the country in individual cities and states, but that's a good place to check. Or firescapeengineers.com.
And remember, when your fire escape is inspected and safe, you're saving the lives of your tenants and the lives of the firemen, and you're also saving yourself a very expensive lawsuit if something ever goes wrong.
That's right. The insurance companies are now becoming quite observant of whether or not your tenant, whether or not a fire escape is inspected and certified. And they may not cover any claims on a fire escape that is not certified.
An
or located.
insurance company not covering a claim if they can get away with it? Who ever heard of such a thing?
Well, they don't want the liability because you were negligent.
Yeah, so, I mean, believe me, if you would rather have this taken care of than worry about whether or not you're going to pay a liability that's not covered by insurance.
That's right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.